Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.
So there's yet another story in a long line of stories written about Harry and Meghan this week. And this particular one is by a royal reporter by the name of Roya Nika. Now, Roya decided to share with us, or bring to our attention, the lack of the ER insignia on Harry's uniform yesterday at the vigil. Now, I have been bombarded with photos and videos highlighting Harry's walk during the vigil with his other cousins, and I didn't even notice the lack of the insignia. And I'm willing to bet that the average person didn't notice them either. But in this story, Roya wants us to know not only was that insignia not on Harry's uniform, but in some ways it was a snub to Harry. According to Roya, the magnanimous King Charles decided to allow Harry to wear the uniform, but not with the insignia, therefore he is snubbed. But as with most things and most stories coming from royal reporters and self-proclaimed royal experts, it's just a bunch of hogwash. If Roya had done an ounce of research, that she would know that Harry doesn't always wear the insignia on his uniform, and the only time that he did was when he was an active personal aide-de-camp to the sovereign. Now, Harry was an aide-de-camp, or ADC, to the Queen between October 2018 and February 2021. And if you looked at photos of Harry, the times when he wasn't an ADC and when he was, you will see that it corresponds with him being allowed to have that insignia on his uniform. So if you're a royal reporter and a royal expert, or an avid royal watcher, you would know this. Most certainly Harry knows this. So why would she say that it was a snub when it really isn't? He's not an ADC, so it's not going to be on there. A fact that Harry well knows. Also, Roya decided to let us know that Harry was devastated. How does she know that? First of all, we've already established that her perceived slight or snub of Harry is just a bunch of nonsense. So why would he be devastated? And how would she know how Harry feels? Harry has already made it clear that he doesn't mess with the UK press, going so far as to put out an official statement. And not only was it an official statement, it named names of UK press that he's not going to work with. So I highly doubt that Roya has any insights to his thoughts. And note, in her article, much like all of the other articles written by royal reporters, it's always friends of the Sussexes, friends of Harry, friends of William, unnamed palace sources. No names are ever given. Now, I don't doubt that a lot of the nasty stories coming from the press comes directly from aides and courtiers of the royal family, but there are often times when these royal reporters just pull things out of their butt and puts it on display, simply to make them look bad, to embarrass them, for clickbait. It's just such a mess, and it's so unprofessional. Now, if you look at the photos of Harry and William at Harry's wedding, you'd see that Harry didn't wear the insignia then, only William did. And again, at that time, Harry was not an ADC, hence he's not going to have it on his uniform. William became an ADC in 2013, so before then, if you pay attention to the uniform, you'd see that it wasn't there to begin with. Now, there are those that would say, well, why did Andrew get to have that insignia on his uniform? And the thing is, Andrew was allowed to wear the royal cipher because of section 10.4 under the Army dress regulations, which basically states that former ADCs, which Andrew is, to the sovereign appointed before 1988 can wear their cipher on their uniform. Andrew was appointed in 1984, so 4 years before that ruling was created. So yeah, just a big nothing burger created by another royal reporter for clicks and headlines to drum up drama to make Harry and Meghan look bad. Now, I'm not the only person that has noticed the very inconsistent behaviors and allowances that are made for non-working royals. I personally can't stand the fact that Harry's name is often tied to Nonce Andrew, but it is what it is, since these are the two highest-ranking non-working royals present. Now, a lot of these rules or protocols are packaged as unwavering. This is how it is, and it can't be changed. But as we've seen over the week especially, they can be changed, and they have been changed, dependent on the mood of the monarch and depending on the PR purpose at hand. When Charles decided to not allow Harry to wear his uniform for the first event, the public backlash was strong, and so Charles wavered and made the allowance. So now it's really hard for them to continue the narrative that, well, these things are done to Harry not as a slight, not out of spite, but because they are protocols. Nonsense. Charles is king, and as we can see, he calls the shots, ultimately. So ultimately, it is his choice, and the things and the petty things that he chooses to do is nobody else's fault but his own. Now, on another note, we've seen world leaders descending upon the streets of London in order to pay their final respects to Queen Elizabeth. So far, we've seen the President of France, Macron, and his wife, also the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and Dr. Jill Biden, as well as the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and his wife. Each of these couples have been seen holding hands. The horror. One wonders if these couples will be at the receiving end of much criticism levied at Harry and Meghan earlier this week. Something tells me that's not going to be the case, but with the Royalist bunch, you never know. They do love to nitpick.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.